that it hasn't occurred to anybody that maybe they're bleeding subscribers because of the woke content. Elon Musk put out a tweet: the woke mind virus is making Netflix unwatchable. Lou Aguilar over at the American Spectator wrote an article called Netflix More Like Notflix, in which he said this. He said, deluded by the COVID captive audiences of the past 2 years, Netflix miscalculated both the durability of streaming and viewer interest in its product. He says, rather than become a welcome alternative to struggling mainstream studio fare, it exceeded even their virtue signaling wokeness.
Well, Netflix is going down that slippery slope even further. Their stock is tanking at the moment. They've been trending under $200 a share. I think they're down to about between $150 and $174 versus when they were a couple of $100 a share back last year, the year before that. We've said the situations, what they've been doing. They just literally not been going in the right direction. I said it would take a lot more to drive this company down, and they do continue to just completely crash. I mean, you've taken a company that's way ahead of everybody else, that basically doesn't have the issues like Paramount Plus and HBO and Amazon and Apple TV. I mean, these are sites that have had constant issues, and they don't have the subscriberships as much as Netflix. But Netflix is beginning to lose its subscribership. And here you're going to end up losing more. There are two articles out, Business Insider and No Film School. But we're going to take the article from No Film School, which is a little bit more basic, not as long. Filmmakers, Netflix mandates asks you to step aside sadness, create action, and appease Gen Z. When you hear appease Gen Z, what they're talking about is wokeness. They're talking about equity, inclusion, all the stuff that I've been discussing and many other YouTubers have been discussing online constantly. We've said this. We had a video last week that had the anime Tiger and Bunny, the English dub was changed on certain lines for politics, for political issues, which that should have not happened. You should not change an English dub to there. You have shows like Squid Game and Alice in Borderland and a bunch of anime that have been very good on this, and a couple of shows that have been good in between, a movie here and there that have been okay. But, you have stuff like Space Force and Big Mouth and a couple of others that are just pure garbage at this point that should have not been, that should not be there. And of course, we don't know how they're doing because basically Netflix does not show us their numbers. They only put out the numbers that they want you to see. They say, well, this is top 10 in there. If that's right, then why is in the movie trend trending current older films right now? Stuff like Forrest Gump, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Happy Gilmore, U.S. Marshals. I mean, these are stuff that's been out for quite some time now, and they're trending high in Netflix itself. Why are they trending? Because a lot of the other stuff that they're putting out, and they've put out a lot of stuff lately, is not doing well. People are realizing, and they're waking up to this, that basically there's garbage out there. And we need to stop supporting a lot of these sites that put out this garbage. We are here to be entertained, not to be preached. Plain and simple. From this article, what kind of content is Netflix looking for from you? Keeping up with what Netflix wants out of its creators can be tricky, but recently some journalists at Business Insider got a hold of Netflix's internal documents detailing what the company was looking for. The results were a mixed bag of ideas that surely complemented what they found their algorithm teaches about their audiences. No, they're not learning from their algorithm. Some mandates are at the top, looking for a female Jack Ryan, new girl version of the Voice, and the request to stick away from satcoms like Master of None. Netflix releases over 500 titles last year, and it builds a content library. It has a ton of data mined from seeing what you pick to watch on a daily basis. The influencers, the kinds of shows executives are greenlighting, and also the lanes they look to attract in the future. With 220 plus million subscribers worldwide, which is dropping, they're looking to be the leading way in the latest trends, like female-driven action and hangout comedies. But you've seen these have not worked in Hollywood. They haven't done well. We've seen a lot of these action films. We've seen a lot of the latest comedies. They're not doing well. They also need to find replacements for shows like they're having ending like Grace and Frankie. Sources told Business Insider that Netflix wants a modern-day Count of Monte Cristo, not going to work on a modern-day situation, as well as an underwater TV series. They're probably looking for a freaking Sequest replacement. Those are pretty specific asks, but if you have one on the shelf, it might be time to ping your reps to submit it to the executives there. It's no surprise they're trying to dip their toes into reality TV either, which they need to get rid of. These shows are typically easy to produce and fairly cheap. Plus, they are memed and binge-worthy, which tracks for a company that's made money in its streaming and seeing shows go viral. But see, they're not seeing the true situation on here. And the thing is, we're not seeing their metrics. We're not seeing their metrics at all, to see what is working and what is not. They're putting in, and I keep saying, and I put this up, this little sheet, TTI. This is what's in their writer's room right now. This is what's going on. Now, shows like Squid Game, is season 2 going to do good? I don't know. I mean, it could end up to be woke as hell, but we don't know. We hope it doesn't. This is coming from Korea. Alice in Borderland, we got a second season coming out. We got some of the other animes that are getting multiple seasons on there. Ultraman's getting one more season on it. It turned out to be okay on season 2. Pacific Rim turned out to be okay on that. Not as best as what I thought it would be, but it was better than the sequel of the movie itself. But it was rushed a bit, and you can see how rushed that series is. But stuff like Big Mouth and the spin-off that they had for Big Mouth, the spin-off is just disgusting. It's just there's nothing there. There's nothing there to its comedy. It's only funny to themselves. Really, I didn't have a laugh in their sequel series that is out right now. I haven't had a good laugh. The only laugh that I have on there is Chappelle, really. I mean, Bill Burr. Those guys I have a good laugh at every once in a while. Or if they have one of the older Richard Pryors, or George Carlin, I'll catch every once in a while. But like I said, the meat of the whole crust is their metrics. They're not showing their metrics like everyone else. We said the ABC hit series Abbott Elementary. They said they had a 200% viewer increase, on streaming. Where are the receipts? Show me where that happened. They're not going to.
Show me the receipts.
See, this is why, Rupert Murdoch over at Tubi TV had made, we had this video last week, making a deal with Nielsen right now to show advertisers what are their measurements on the movies, TV series, the shows that they're showing, the anime, what's popular on their site. This is what is needed across the board. See, other companies wants to get rid of Netflix because they're just making this programming, saying to advertisers, this is what's happening and all that. But advertisers are starting to come around and says, well, we want to see the receipts. Now you have Netflix's investors want to see those receipts as well. They want to see what is going on in Netflix. They have a lawsuit coming to the nature. This is coming across because you have streaming sites that says we're doing well with this. But when you look online, you hear from people on there and they're saying, no, it's garbage. You know, Amazon's doing Lord of the Rings. What are you hearing? You're hearing they bought a Lord of the Rings series that's supposed to be a prequel series, which is made up from literally the appendixes of Lord of the Rings. Nothing to do with the Silmarillion or any prequels books that were written by Tolkien or his son. They're only using the appendix, which is like only maybe about 80 pages. You know, thousands of years of story they're going to pack in from about 80 pages of appendixes. Or as I would say, flashbacks. You know, and the things that they've done already, the race swapping, gender swapping, changing characters around. So they basically prop up certain characters, which, you know, that's not what Tolkien wrote. That's not what Tolkien wrote. Look at his interviews. Look at all the books that he's written about him writing these books. That is not Tolkien. 60 words, Asimov said. 60 words he will only be remembered for. And he's absolutely right. Asimov predicted it would take 100 years, but it's taking less than that. He's been dead for about since the 90s, and look where his stuff is. Apple TV already took his content and ripped it apart. And this is what's happening on Netflix. They're bringing content that just literally is just pure garbage. I see better stuff on Shudder and Tubi TV than what is on Netflix and Amazon, you know, and all these other sites. It's just pure garbage. I couldn't even. Oh, I know some people, you know, they're gonna say, why didn't you like it? I didn't like the Batman movie. I really did not like Batman. I had some issues, and not because of the casting. I had issues of how Batman was depicted in this movie. They did not understand who Batman is, the way he acts. This is supposed to be a year 2, you know, but they made it look like it was a year 5. You know, this is the situations that they keep pushing upon the fans, the viewers, people who want to be entertained. You are not here to politicize us. If you make a documentary about politics, that's fine. Keep it to that. But when it comes to entertainment, I want to be entertained. I don't want wokeness. I don't want gender swapping, race swapping. Historical characters change to diversify itself, the change of history. Do you not understand? By you changing historical characters, down the line, people will look back thinking that is actual truth. There's an old saying, the history is written by the victors. And that's what these people are trying to do. They're trying to rewrite film history so they can rewrite actual history and change things and push their agendas. Look at all the stuff that's on Netflix right now. How much of it is just garbage? There's a lot of it, it's garbage. A lot of it. A lot of the anime that they've put their own is just like, oh, who made this? Who wrote this? Who did the English dub of this? You know, at one point I respected Netflix because of the way they've been around, their technology, and that they were able to push the limits of the industry. You know, they put Blockbuster practically, you know, there's only one Blockbuster left. They put them out of business at that point, and they put a lot of other. Redbox is, you know, still around, but they're practically off the map. You know, who to think that it mail videos to your home? You know, that was brilliant. Took a little time, but it got to your home. You got to see it and send it back properly. You know, it's just, oh my God. I don't know. I really don't know. And, you know, they want to do how many things wrong can go with a Jack Ryan female series? A lot. We've already seen this from several other spy movies that have been created in the last 2 years. And they'll blame it on COVID, but it's junk. They don't know how to write characters. They just write characters just to politicize characters. They're pushing, you You know, and women, please complain, because they're just tearing your characters apart. They're tearing you apart. They're making you look foolish on film. They're taking women's live back a freaking 100 years at this point. Because there were some great action flicks with women in it. In fact, there's some being remastered right now and being put out. Michelle Yeoh and Cynthia Rothrock, they got a couple of their films, which were some great martial art films of its time. And those are coming out finally remastered on Blu-ray 4K. You know, there are other women who have done some great series, some great movies, you know, from history all the way back. You know, you don't have to do what you're doing. You know, you're trying to prop up women to disparage men, to put men under your finger. But that's not what you're doing. What you're doing is you're just creating pure garbage. And Netflix is at a point where they can go either way. They're starting to go below. They're getting below. They're going to lose a lot more subscribers. They're going to lose a lot more production people. And for those of you who want to work with Netflix, don't go to work for Netflix as far as making productions. Make it yourself. Put it out yourself. Others will come and buy from you, you know, and basically allow you to control your own product. They're out there. You just got to find them.